Motivation. Motivation is very important as it drives us to push ourselves and become better. It can be very hard to find motivation in things, however. Companies and schools actually pay people just to give motivational speeches. That's how important it is. When it comes to OSU, everybody finds inspiration and motivation in different things. Today, I'll be going over some of those things, as well as some cases of what happens when people lose their motivation. My hope for this video is that everyone can take something out of this and feel more motivated. First off, I'm going to talk about my motivations and what drove me to keep playing OS. At first, I found motivation in the ranking system and other people. Since I figured out that ranks were a thing, it pushed me to keep getting better and better. Along the way, I ended up meeting some people and making friends. I still talk to some of these friends. We actually have a relatively small Discord server. But staying in contact with these people has really kept me involved with the game, and honestly, I really like the friends that I've made. The second part of this is Rivalry. As cliche as it may sound, I found that having a rival really pushed me to keep improving. For me personally, my rival was this Croatian guy I met named Vinska. I don't even remember how we met, but we were about the same rank, and I just remember messaging him, straight up telling him that we were going to be rivals. For example, one day he decided to start alternating so that he could become better at DT, and I decided to do the same thing. Before that, I really resented DT, but he pushed me to better my finger control, which in turn made me want to improve everything. This is why I think having a rival is really important, but I wouldn't recommend having a rival you dislike. It should definitely be a friendly rivalry. Okay, so rivals can push you to get better, sure, but maybe you're just starting out and you aren't quite sure if you should get into OS. Maybe you've played it a few times, but you feel like you couldn't ever be as good as the other people. It's times like this where you can look at yourself for motivation. Start saving your replays and look at how much you're actually improving. Start setting goals and trying to achieve them. One thing I would recommend is to put some maps you want to pass in a collection. Seeing yourself get better is something that can really drive you to keep going. I think a general trend among OSU players is that at first they see their improvement and it does motivate them to keep playing. Then they reach a point where they just aren't improving fast enough. If you get to this point, don't be discouraged. Just keep playing and keep in mind that every day won't be your best day. If you can't find motivation in the thought that you will play better on another day, then there are plenty other things that you can look to. I mentioned it above, and some people responded on my Reddit thread with this one word: people. Make friends. People are always chatting in the OSU chat, and you can definitely find some friendly people there. You could go to r/OSU game to try and find some people. Heck, I found one of my best friends by going in the F9 menu, choosing location and filtering to nearby, then actually messaging people asking if they live in the same state. My point here is that having these connections with people who also enjoy OSU will make you feel better. I also really want to point out the importance of staying in a good crowd, so to say. You don't want to be around others who are negative all the time and upset. All that will do is rub off on you and bring you down as well. After my break from the game, which started in January, when I came back I found myself playing more multis and talking to more people. The motivation to get better from having a rival had worn off from me, so I just used other people to stay motivated. I now play for fun and just try to have a good time.
Brad! Brad, I did it! I did it, Brad! I did it!
Maybe you don't have feelings towards or against OSU. There are a lot of underlying motivations that people don't really think about, but hearing them out loud could really remind you about why you started playing this silly circle game in the first place. These underlying motivations could be anything such as enjoying music, just needing a game to play, or maybe you just enjoy difficult things. One of the things I definitely think is underrated is just playing for fun. Honestly, if you can say that you play for fun, you've pretty much won the battle. It doesn't matter if you have fun farming, chatting with others, making memes, or anything. If you truly have fun playing this game, that's the main goal. Sadly, some people can't seem to find any motivation. It really sucks to be here at this point. It is possible to come back from here, but usually, being here results in people just quitting or taking long breaks from the game. We've seen this time and time again from way too many players. People like Shige, Vaxi, Matthew, The Poon, and there's many, many more. I chose to mention some of the previous names because they all have one thing in common when quitting: the community. While I did say that making connections with people is a good way to stay motivated and make friends, it may come as a surprise, not everybody in the community is so nice. When it comes to the community, it can really be hit or miss. We've seen people like Beastroll become extremely popular and surrounded by so many positive people. There's no doubt that the community, as well as the people that watch him, are his motivation. Then we have others like Matthew and Shige. The community just seems to be against them one way or another, whether it's casting doubt on them, or having one of the best Osu players not live up to standards. It's really frustrating to see how much it affects these people. Usually when people receive this negative attention, they end up quitting, taking a break, or becoming an offline player. I mentioned the last one because these people aren't necessarily lacking motivation, it's just that others bring them down and make them not even want to play. I want to bring up one of the biggest examples of a player being so internally motivated that even after all the scrutiny and hate he received, he was still determined to be the best. That's Whitecat, of course.
Dude, you just got fucking unbanned!
What?
You
No,
got
no, 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 no.
unbanned! You
What?
got unbanned!
No way.
When I look at Whitecat and hear his story, it's one that looks very bleak. To be so motivated by yourself as well as others is an amazing feeling. But once everyone decided that he was cheating and hopped on the bandwagon, well,
Oh my god.
I can't even imagine how discouraging it must have been.
Let's go, let's go.
I say all this to make the point. Even after years of accusations and people bringing him down, he was still able to find the internal motivation to keep pushing. No matter what people said to him, he wouldn't let it get to him. He continued to play, and it was most likely through his enjoyment of the game, as well as seeing himself improve, that kept him
Oh my
motivated.
god. No way.
This kind of story serves to show that no matter what gets you down, you can find motivation in
Thank
something.
you so much, man. Thanks to everyone, guys. I love you all. I love you all.
We're getting close to the end now. My whole reason for making this video is because I want to have a positive impact on the community and help as many people as I can. If you have trouble finding a reason to play or finding the motivation to pick up the pen for another day, well, there's always something out there for you.
Believe.
Whether you keep playing to reach a personal goal, just to have fun, or something else entirely, you can find something. I'm going to end off this video with two motivational quotes. The only time you should look
Bless
back
RNG.
is to see how far you've come.
Oh my god, I'm shaking so much.
900 years. Oh my god.
Rip Ack. But fuck it.
Bitte.
Yes! No way! Oh my god.
Oh no!